Hello and welcome to Moody Park here on this Wednesday late afternoon, really, with how these summers are treating us. And it's a hot one here in Union, New Jersey between the Trenton Generals and the Mercer Mammoths. Generals were able to break their two-game losing streak to the Kings last night where they won 6-4. It's Brody McKenzie up at the plate starting their day off. He's the top of the batting order, and he's going to fly out to the second baseman right there.
Number 21, right fielder, Ryan Hosdovic.
So that's how the Generals are going to get things started here in the top of the first. Ryan Hosdovic is now up at the plate, his 12th game in the orange and white. It's Luke Foley on the mound for the Mammoths. With one out on the board, Hosdovic facing down a 3-0 count here. He's a .259 hitter on the season, has walked 4 times and struck out 5. He's now looking at a 3-1. Hosdovic heading into his junior season at Babson College. Will get walked and be the first base runner here today.
How we doing? Hey. You are handsome. Appreciate it. You as well. You already have a hat. I do have a hat. I'm good on the hat. Yeah, just the windbreaker. Thank you. Now I gotta look good. Number 17, first baseman, Deacon Bound. No excuses why you won't look good now. Exactly. Thank you. I appreciate it. Absolutely.
And it brings on Deacon Bound. This is his 13th game with the Generals. Big swing and a miss there on the first pitch. He's a .265 hitter on the season, .841 OPS. He's got 3 doubles and 1 homer on his 9 hits. So about a third of his hits so far have been extra base. Hosdovic, the attempted pickoff there from Foley is unsuccessful. Bound heading to Bucknell for his freshman season. He's going to ground this one over to the shortstop Cornier. The double play is made for the Mercer Mammoths to get him out of this first inning. Technically 3 up and 3 down there for Foley. And we're all knotted up at 0. And we'll see you in the bottom of the first. Welcome you back here in the bottom of the first. Mammoths are up at the plate. James Schaefer is the leadoff hitter for them. Schaefer, this is 12th game with Mercer. He's an above 300 hitter with a 680 OPS. He's got 4 RBIs and 8 runs in the season. He's walked 3 times, struck out 5. 4 stolen bases as well, so a bit of a dangerous guy when he gets over there on the bases. But a couple big swings early on, so he's looking at a 1-2 count. He's facing off against Kellen Moore on the mound. Kellen Moore, this will be his last game in a Generals uniform due to pitch count worries. Lafayette College set that pitch count on him after he pitched over 60 innings for Lawrence High School this past spring. And through 60 innings, boy, was he something else. Allowed only 32 hits and only 15 earned runs for a 1.72 ERA. Struck out 80 batters compared to the 15 that he walked. And this one's going to be popped up by Schaefer. And the catch will be made by Deacon Bound for out number 1 here in the bottom of the first. And more so far this summer. This is going to be his 4th and, like I said, last game. It's his 2nd game he started. He's allowed 13 hits and 13 runs in a little over 10 innings pitched, along with 7 earned runs. Struck out 12 batters and walked 6. It's all coming out to a 4.74 ERA. It brings on Jordan Nitty, another above 300 hitter on this Mammoth squad, his 13th game with the team. Starts himself off with an 0-2 count. Kellen Moore looking real solid over on the dish. Nitty heading into his senior season at Stockton University. Facing down the 0-2. Swing and a miss there. Strike was dropped by Mezgel. Mezgel makes the throw over, and there's out number 2. So 2 up, 2 down so far here for Moore, who's trying to give it his all in the last few innings this summer. Brings on Justin Fogel, who last season played for the Pitt Panthers. This coming season will be down in Tennessee playing for Memphis University. Started nearly every game for Pitt this year, was a 300 hitter. 11 doubles and 5 homers for him. Looked real solid. And here he is in the summer. So far this summer, his 2nd game, he was 3 for 4 in his 1st game with Mercer, and he's striking out here. Another strike is dropped by Mezgel, and another throw is made over to first base. So 3 up, 3 down for both sides here in the 1st inning, and we're all knotted up at 0 heading into the 2nd. We'll see you there. Back here in the top of the second, Gavin West up at the plate for the Generals. Flying this one out to right field to start things off. And the catch will be made. A lot of backpedaling out there. But regardless, out number one is had after one pitch here in this inning.
Number 7, shortstop, Robert Kelly.
Yeah, if I was writing an article about the game last night, my lead sentence would have been, I came to Moody Park in a baseball game broke out.
Sound like there were moments that it wasn't.
So the out brings on Robert Kelly. Kelly, the shortstop today for the Gens. This is his 15th game with Trenton. Reminder, they've played 18 so far. Only Timmy Wright is the only player to play more games. He's played in 16, but currently not in the lineup today. But we know how Mike Coryell, coach of the Generals, loves those mid-game substitutions where he leaves us scrambling up here to try and figure out all the madness going down on the field. It's a 2-1 count here for Kelly against Luke Foley. A hot day here in Moody Park, still in the low 90s. It is an earlier start. Often these games start at 6:30. Always is what I should say, but not tonight. Pushed back to 6 because of the forecast of potential storm heading our way. Full count here for Kelly. Luke Foley just wrapped up his freshman season at Muhlenberg College, where he pitched over 47 innings. And here's this pitch to Kelly that's grounded right over to Cornier, who makes the play over to first. Amir Cornier. 2 outs on the board. And so far it's 8 up, 8 down to start off this game. Very reminiscent of last night's game, where it really was a pitching battle out there. But finally, here is the first hit of the day. Jake DeClerico finds the gap, and the grounder goes out to left field. And there's hit number 1.
Number 15, second baseman, Giuseppe Arcuri.
DeClerico, an above 300 hitter for the Gens this year, which is among the best. Brings on Giuseppe Arcuri. Who flies that one out to left field. Should be foul, but it will be caught by Briggs out in left field. So the first hit of the day is had by Jake DeClerico, but other than that, everything looks the same through the first inning and a half here at Moody Park between the Generals and the Mammoths, tied up at 0, heading into the bottom of the second. Back here in the bottom of the second. Mammoths up at the plate. It's Joe Gmitter to be specific. He's going to line that one, fly it rather, out into left field. And it'll be Allbacher making the catch for yet another quick out here in this baseball game at Moody Park.
Number 12.
As I said, very reminiscent of yesterday, where the Generals beat the Kings 6-4. And boy, did that game fly by. Little over 2 hours was our final game time. Brings on Cornier. Amir Cornier has played in all 18 games, make this 19 for the Mammoths. He's got a .258 average. Just wrapped up his senior season at Young Harris College, where he did not play. Said the last playing time he saw was in his junior year. He's looking at a 1-1 count here. Make that a 1-2. Nice little breaking ball there from Kellen Moore. And Kellen Moore has looked very solid so far to start off this one, which is extremely similar to Luke Foley, who just wrapped up his freshman season at Muhlenberg. As I mentioned, Moore will be heading into his freshman season at Lafayette College. 2-2 count here for Cornier. Leads the team in RBIs with 12. Moore nearing 20 pitches. And a full count here. It's the bottom of the second. Game is all tied up. 1 out on the board. Full count pitch is low and inside. So Cornier will take his base. And it'll bring on Will Burkaw. Burkaw just wrapped up his freshman season at Gettysburg College. Played in 18 games, started 8 of them. And in his 36 at-bats, he was extremely successful. 15 hits in them, coming out to a .417 average. He had 2 doubles and 14 RBIs. Walked 11 times compared to only 4 strikeouts, as well as stealing 7 bases. So Will Burkaw, really solid campaign. Start to his campaign. That is over at Gettysburg College. The Mammoths in the white with the red pinstripes and lettering, while the Generals in the orange jerseys, gray pants with black lettering, along with the black hats. A couple of South Division teams. Mammoths tied for first. Generals tied for third. The Mammoths are tied with the Capitals. The Generals are tied with the Kings. It's a 1-2 count here for Burkaw. It's Burkaw's first game. And that one's in there from Moore for the strikeout and out number 2 here in the bottom of the second. A little bit of a breeze, but don't let that fool you into thinking that this is a cool day here in Ewing. It has been hot all day long, and that continues, despite it nearly being 6:30. It's Kellen Moore on the mound, Braden Mesgel behind the plate. Deacon Bound is over there on first with Arcuri on second, West on third, and Kelly is your shortstop. Lance Allbacher is out in left field with McKenzie in center, and Ryan Hosdovic out in right. It's going to bring on Dylan Briggs. Just finished up his senior season at Middletown North, where he was a .423 hitter, and believe it or not, that was the worst of his 3 seasons with the team. That pitch is a bit outside. The pickoff attempt from Mesgel. Throw over to second is unsuccessful, so Cornier is over there on second after stealing a base. And yeah, Briggs, a .423 hitter. The season prior, his junior year, a .545 hitter, and the season before that, a .533 hitter.
Hello? Hello?
I'm just about to let you guys know that we can hear your conversation
Oh, this stupid
over the,
microphone.
over
Did I say anything really, really horrible?
I don't know.
I was gonna say, is it a good conversation?
So here's the 2-1 count for
It
Briggs.
wasn't anything
I
like,
could just
holy
hear-
shit, that was a strike.
Fouls that one off, gets a 2-2 count with 2 outs on the board here for number 3, Dylan Briggs. Briggs committed to play baseball at Montclair State for his freshman season. A reminder, that is for baseball. It will not be for football, in which Briggs also saw much success at Middletown North in his senior season. A star receiver, and nearly 1,000 yards, 959 to be exact, on his 53 catches. 6 of them were touchdowns. Swing and a miss there, though. Kellen Moore with another strikeout here in this one, leaving Cornier over on second. And after 2, score is still tied at 0. And boy, these pitchers are having themselves a day. We'll be right back with you in the 3rd inning. So it's Braden Mesgall up at the plate now, a .267 hitter. On his 8 hits, 1 of them was a double. He's got 3 RBIs. He's walked 5 times and struck out 3 times so far this summer, heading into his senior season at Shepherd University. A guy who we know always likes to have fun out there on the field. He's going off against Foley, who's going to start him off with an 0-2 count. Luke Foley saw his fair share of pitches at Muhlenberg College this spring, as this one is a grounder right over to Cornier, and the first out is had. After Mesgall grounds out, it brings on Lance Albacher.
Number 27, left fielder, Lance Eilbacher.
Albacher, the 6 foot, 165-pound sophomore now at Catholic University. In his freshman season, he had a 143 average across 16 games played. So far this summer, he's played in 14 games and has a 244 average. That's compared to his 174 that he had through the first 7. He starts off with a 2-0 count against Foley, who I mentioned had his fair share of playing time through over 47 innings. Allowed 67 hits and 27 earned runs. Struck out 32 batters for a 5.13 ERA. So far this summer, he's thrown 13 innings. He is 2-1. 2 wins and 1 loss. As Albacher, that one goes right down the middle, and it'll be hit number 2 on the day. So the Generals slowly but surely getting the bats going here. It's no knock yet on Mercer and this Foley and their defense. But still, a little hope with the bat in their hands here for Trenton as they go back to the top of the order here with Brody McKenzie, heading into his senior season at Rhode Island. Another guy who struggled in the spring. Played 36 games, had a 135 average. So far for the Generals, this is his 12th game. He's got a 333 average on the summer. One of the highest on the team. Near 1,000 OPS. On his 10 hits, 5 of them have been doubles, along with 5 RBIs. He's walked 8 times and stolen 5 bases as well. That one is swung on. It was going along the left field line for a while there, but eventually comes out for a 1-1 count here. With Lance Albacher over there on first. There's 1 out on the board. We're here in the top of the third, just now reaching 6:30. The normal start time to these weekday games, but as I mentioned, with the storm forecast, the decision was made to start this game earlier as off goes Albacher over to second. Albacher slowing down on his way over there. He is still safe, but you wonder what was going through his head. Slowed down his jog to make sure that he stayed on second base when he got there. But boy, was that close. So now Albacher in scoring position. 2-1 count swung on by McKenzie to make it a 2-2. Brody McKenzie, as I mentioned, has 5 RBIs on the summer, along with his 5 doubles. Albacher. Looked like he was thinking about stealing third there, but no one on second to even think about getting the ball from Foley. Nitty is the second baseman. That one's going to be fouled off. The 2-2 count's going to remain. McKenzie from Ocean City, New Jersey. Sitting at 6'2", 190 pounds. And boy, has he been able to swing a bat this summer for Trenton. Foley stepping off as he's looking down. Albacher over there on second. McKenzie almost fly out into left center. It will not get down. The catch is made for out number 2. Albacher still stuck on second.
Number 21.
Schaefer on the catch. Ryan Hasdovic now takes the plate. The lefty hitter heading into his junior season at Babson College. Foley looking for the third out, and he starts off the right way with a swinging strike. Here's the 0-1. Foley just over 30 pitches. Reminder, we're here in the third inning, so the efficiency from both sides has been incredible. Off goes Albacher over to third base, and he is safe. Saker couldn't get the throw over Albacher. Looks like he's having fun. He's been laughing his entire time going around these bases. It's a 1-1 count here for Hosdovic. Hosdovic, the bunt attempt is going to be foul off the left side. Hosdovic walked in his first plate appearance. Here he is with at bat number 2. Looking at a 1-2 count. There's 2 outs on the board, but Albacher is over there on third, trying to get the first run of the game. Swing and a miss there from Hosdovic. And no runs remain on the scoreboard after 2.5. Heading into the bottom of the third, Albacher is left stranded on third base. Score is knotted up at 0. Kellen Moore is back on the mound, and the Mammoths will be the first team to try and put a run on the board here at Moody Park on this hot Wednesday evening. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you in the bottom of the third. Here in the bottom of the third, score remains the same way it did in the top of the first. All nothing. After 2.5, Jack Saker is up with his first at-bat of the game. Through 10 games played, he is just 1 for 23 on the season. Albeit he's walked 8 times, but also struck out 11 times. So looking to really add a boost to his batting average so far this summer. He's headed off to St. Joe's University for his freshman season. It's going to be a grounder over to Kelly, who makes the throw to first and make it 1 for 24.
Number 29, right fielder, and Malone.
Brings on Anthony Pallone, who also just wrapped up his freshman year. Or actually, is not going into his freshman year. He wrapped up his freshman year is what I meant to say. I think that's what I did say. But he played in 4 games, had 3 at-bats, saw 1 hit, and it was a double. That's at Rowan University. Looking to see more action and keep those doubles coming for them next year. So far this year, he's a 162 hitter. That one goes straight to West, and West making the grab. Look at the reflexes on the third baseman for out number 2 here in the bottom of the third.
Number 2, center fielder, James Schaefer.
Gavin West with a luscious head of hair underneath that black Generals hat. It was an absolute joy to talk to when we gave him our Toyota Player of the Game last week. And he is so fun to watch out there in the infield. So 2 outs on the board here. Mammoths looking to get their first hit. Another one goes right over to West. He makes the throw over, and there's out number 3. Kellen Moore and company have looked real solid so far through 3. The game is knotted up at 0. Can the Generals keep on advancing that runner around the bases? We saw a man get to second in the second inning. Allbacher got all the way around to third in the third inning. In the fourth inning, will someone come finally home? We will find out, and we'll be right back. Now in the fourth inning of play. The inning average time right now is 10 minutes per inning. Can't imagine that stays consistent, but with the way both these pitchers are playing, it just might. Deacon Bound now up at the plate. He's 0 for 1 on the day. This is his second at-bat here, 1-1 count. With no outs on the board, obviously, starting off this fourth inning. He's going to pop that one up, but it's going to be foul, so a 1-2. Foley's still going strong, as I mentioned, coming into today. Played in 4 games across 13 innings, allowed 8 hits and 6 earned runs. Walked 14 batters and struck out 8 of them. And he's had his fair share of strikeouts here in this one, including that one right there against Deacon Bound. For out number 1 here in the fourth inning.
Number 13, third baseman, Gavin.
And it brings on Gavin West, who was the man behind a couple of outs in the bottom of the third. And a big swing there. The 0-1 count for West is down in the dirt for a 1-1. Gavin West just barely above 200 on the year. This is his 13th game with the Generals out of the 18 that they've played so far this summer. He's still on 9 bases when he gets on, but that one's going to go straight to Foley. And Foley makes the throw over to Gmitter for out number 2. Solid reaction speed there from the pitcher. That's already 2 down here in the fourth.
Shortstop, Robert Kelly.
So here's Robert Kelly heading off to Monmouth University for his freshman season. This past spring at Lawrence High School in his senior campaign with them, he was a .374 hitter. Had 21 RBIs. Some of those hits included 5 doubles, 4 triples, and a homer. He was also a prolific pitcher through 24 innings pitched, just a little over 2.0 ERA. That one almost trying to tread along the left field line, but it's going to be foul for the 1-1 count. 2 outs on the board here for Kelly, who this summer has been a .250 hitter. And That pitching has also kept up for him as well. No earned runs just yet on over 5 innings pitched. Big swing there for the 1-2. And boy, Foley and Kellen Moore have both been incredible so far in the first few innings of this one. Foley looking for the 3 up, 3 down here. He's going to make it a full count on Kelly. Full count pitch with 2 outs on the board. And that one won't get there. So Kelly will walk to first base, his first time on base today.
Number 2, the DH, Jake DeClerico.
Brings on DeClerico, who had the first hit of the day. And still only 1 of 2 hits on the day. He's getting the call signs over from Coach Mike Coryell, which we've tried to decipher previously on these streams, and boy, we just cannot. There's clapping, there's hand movement. But hey, whatever he's doing, it worked for the Generals yesterday. I'm hoping that it works for them today as well. Couple of pickoff attempts, none of them successful here for Foley. First fastball is in there. Against DeClerico for strike 1. Jake DeClerico in his 16th game with the Generals. And off goes Kelly. And Kelly is caught out. Great pickoff attempt from Foley. And Kelly was close over there on second, but not close enough. So that's out number 3 here in the top of the 4th. So make it 3 up, 3 down there for him. And boy, defense, defense, defense is the story through 3.5 here in this one. We'll see you in the bottom of the 4th with the same score we started off the game. All nothing.
Second baseman, number 7, Jordan Nitty.
Back here in the bottom of the 4th, Jordan Nitty is going to start things off for the Mammoths and hopefully give them their first hit of the day. First pitch from Moore is a strike, something we've seen all game long. So 1 strike here for Nitty. The 0-1 count. He's over there at Stockton University. Started 41 games for them in his junior season. He had a .323 batting average, which is real similar to what he's had so far this summer with a .306. So very consistent, above 300 hitter is Jordan Nitty. Here's the 1-2 count for him. Moore puts that one in there. And Kellen Moore, have yourself a day so far here at Moody Park.
Number 25, the DH, Justin Vogel.
Over 3 innings pitched, 4 strikeouts to show for it, no hits allowed, and walked only 1 batter. 43 pitches, 30 of them have been strikes. And he starts off Vogel the right way with an 0-1. Swing and a miss. Vogel, the catcher who I mentioned, is heading off to Memphis for this upcoming spring. In his first and only year with Pitt, he was a 300 hitter. Guy who's bounced around in college, but everywhere he goes, he looks incredible. And this is his second game. He was 3 for 4 last game for the Mammoths, where they beat the Capitals 10-5.
Count, Blue. Thank you.
So the Mammoths sitting at 9-9, 9-9, not 99 for anyone wondering. At a perfect 500 so far, this game could mean a lot, as they are tied for first with the Trenton Capitals, who they just beat yesterday. So I mentioned they won 10-5. Before that, they split a doubleheader between Pocono and themselves. That grounder's going to go right to the glove of Kellen Moore, who will walk it over to first base for out number 2. Brings on Amir Cornier.
Number 52, first baseman, Joe Gamitter.
Cornier did not play in his senior season. He had 28 bats in his junior campaign, where he had 7 hits for a .250 average. And rather, this is Joe Gamitter. I was getting ahead of myself here. Cornier walked over to the base and then walked back after just grabbing the bat. So instead, here is Joe Gamitter, who at Mercer County played 51 games this past spring and had a .356 average, 55 RBIs for the Region 19 champions in the NJCAA. And Gamitter is looking at a 2-1 count right here. He's a .330 hitter on the year, on the summer, I should say, for Mercer. From Hamilton, New Jersey, heading into his sophomore season with the Vikings. Looking at a 2-2 count here with a couple outs on the board. That one's low and away. Full count after that one goes into the dirt. Kellen Moore is having fun with his catcher, Braden Meskel. 44 and 45, that's the combo between pitcher and catcher. Here's the 55th pitch from Moore, and that one's going to be inside. And Gamitter will take his base.
Number 12, shortstop, Amir Cornier.
Just the second base runner for Mercer all day long. Both of them have been on walks. Still no runs here in this one. Now is Amir Cornier, who I alluded would be up before. Goes right over to Giuseppe, who makes the throw over to Robert Kelly. Arcuri to Kelly for the third out here in the bottom of the fourth. Both of these defenses look unstoppable. It's a wonder when that first run will come in, if at all, it seems. We'll see if the first one can come in the 5th inning. And before we bring you there, we want to remind you that this 5th inning is brought to you by Northfield Bank. Northfield Bank is a full-service community bank with locations all across New York and New Jersey. Each day, Northfield Bank upholds their mission to be the financial institution of choice for individuals and businesses by delivering innovative products and exceptional customer service. Do you need free checking, a home equity loan, or even personalized business banking? Well, give Northfield a call today. That is Northfield Bank, bringing you the fifth inning, which we will be right back to after a short break. Back here, fifth inning of play between the Generals and the Mammoths. Score is still knotted up at 0. Both these pitchers, Kellen Moore and Luke Foley, have been stupendous nearing the halfway point in this one. It's Foley back out there. It's a 3-0 count here for JT Clerico, who has looked solid today. Has probably looked the most solid of any hitter out there. It's 1 for 1. Second at bat of the day. He's looking at a full count after being up 3-0. Here is the full count pitch, and it's in there. DeClerico quickly threw his bat and was heading over to first base. Instead, he gets the strikeout. Luke Foley is back at it.
Number 15, second baseman Giuseppe Arcuri.
Foley's third strikeout of the day. In over 4 innings pitched, he's walked 2 batters, allowed 2 hits. And Arcuri, almost a base hit, and it will be a base hit. Courier with the Superman throw over to first base was unsuccessful. But boy, for a throw to be that accurate, with him sprinting away from the base, not much more you can ask from your shortstop there. What an effort. But regardless, Arcuri will get on base for the 3rd hit allowed and the 3rd hit of the day. Here for the Generals, Braden Mesgill now up at the plate. One out on the board here for Mesgill. A .267 hitter on the year. Over at Shepherd University, started 27 games, he had a .275 average. That's 22 hits in his 80 at-bats. He had 3 RBIs, 2 doubles, he was 15 walks as well. From Bordentown, New Jersey, heading into his senior season with Shepherd. Looking at a 1-1 count. He's got Arcuri on first. That one is swung out into right field, and it won't get down. The catch is made by Pallone. It'll advance Arcuri all the way to third base, but what a play by the right fielder. And boy, you want to talk about the pitching so far tonight. How about the fielding from both these sides? The defense has been outstanding. Regardless, though, it's a situation we've seen earlier in this game. Man on third. 2 outs on the board here for the Generals. Before it was Lance Albacher over there on third base. This time he's up at the plate. Just going to see what he's able to do. That one fouled off. So start off with a 0-1 count. Allbacher heading into his sophomore season at Catholic University. Sitting at 6 foot. The righty hitter from Titusville, New Jersey. .244 average on the day. He's also 1 for 1 so far in this one. As he fouls that one off. Committer chasing it down, but it's going to be past the fence for a 1-2 count. So 2 outs on the board here. Or rather not. Mezgel is over there safe on first now, so instead Ruther's on the corners. That one goes right over to Committer, who's looking for the double play. Cornier can't get the throw over. Committer makes the throw to second instead of throwing it home, which means the first run of the day is finally in there in the Generals' favor. The umpire's going to have a little meeting here. And Braden Mezgel, while he was running over, could possibly be interference. And they will call interference on Mezgel, causing Allbacher to be out, and no run will be on the board for the Generals. We're still tied up at 0. Mezgel did not slide. Instead, he was running straight at Cornier as he tried to make the double play. At the end of the day, technically the double play will be made.
There were no errors and 1 left. After 4 1/2, the Generals nothing.
My goodness, what a way to end off the top of the 5th. Now heading into the bottom. It's a new pitcher for the Generals. Stay with us to find out who it is and how he can impact this game. All zeros after 4 1/2.
And leading off for the
New pitcher here for Trenton, Ryan Mignona coming in for the superhero. That was Kellen Moore through the first 4. Kellen Moore, no hits allowed. Walked only 2 batters, struck out 5. 37 strikes on the 57 pitches he threw. An extremely efficient day for him. You can see him on the left side of your screen walking over. Boy, did he look great. And his place is going to be Ryan Mignona. He's facing off against Will Burkaw, and Burkaw has a 1-2 count. Mignona, this is his 5th game on the year. He's pitched 9 innings before this. 2-2 count now. In those 9 innings, he allowed 9 hits and 7 earned runs. He's also averaging a strikeout an inning. all comes out to a 5.44 ERA. A swing there by Burkaw. It shook up Mezgel. It was a 2-2 count with that swing. The swing came around as well. So a bit curious on what the call will be. Was that not a 2-2 count that the batter just swung on? No. Oh, foul. Okay, thank you.
Right, but it was a foul.
So with the foul, 2-2 count here for Burkaw. Oh, that fastball close, but not close enough. Mezgel tried his best to get it back in the zone, as all good catchers do. Instead, we'll get a full count. Bottom of the fifth, game is still tied at 0. Temperature slowly going down, but still high in the low 90s. That ball almost fair, dancing along the right field line as Bound tried to get to it. Not in time, so the full count remains. As I mentioned before, Will Burkaw, only 36 at-bats for Gettysburg in his freshman season, but 15 hits in them, along with 2 doubles and 14 RBIs. And that fastball's going to be low, and he will walk himself over to third. Moore only allowed 2 runners on through his 4 innings pitched, and on his first batter, Mignogna allows the runner on. Out into right field. The catch is made by Hasdovic. Instead, it'll hit the ground. Makes the throw in. Burkaw is walking over the dugout. Burkaw is out. So he had thought it was caught.
Number 37, catcher Jack.
Instead, it'll be a fielder's choice, with Burkaw now replacing him over there on first. So technically still no hits on the day for the Mammoths. Jack Saker is now off the plate. There's 1 out. Off goes the runner Briggs. There's Arcuri making the fake throw over there on second base. Unsuccessful. So now Briggs on second base. There's 1 out on the board. That fastball's in there for strike 2, an 0-2 count. Here for Saker. Saker is 1 for 24 on the year. This is his 11th game with the Mammoths. And boy, that ball was close. Mignogna thought it was in there. Umpire had other ideas. 1-2 count. Fastball is fouled off into the parking lot. A couple of cars out there. You hope for the best for them. Bounces right over the nice crossover, which was stopped out there. Not sure if he even noticed, but someone was watching over him right there. 1-2 count still remains. Wild pitch goes past Mezgel, advances Briggs over to third. And this is the first time a base runner has reached third for the Mammoths all day long. Can they make the most of it? Generals have had this same opportunity twice, and they have been unsuccessful in both of their attempts. 1 out, Briggs on third, 2-2 count. Also fouled off right back towards us. Just past 7 o'clock here, which is when the weather was advising that there was a 50% chance of precipitation. These games have to get through at least 5 innings to be counted. So this game absolutely will. 2-2 count remains, another foul ball. That one goes right up the middle. The play cannot be made by Kelly, and the first run comes home. We thought the Generals had the first run before. It all came back. This one's going to stand. Mammoths lead 1-0. Now in the bottom of the 5th.
Right fielder in alone.
And the first hit of the day as well for Mercer. So the combined no-hitter is not going to happen here for the Generals. Still wasn't no-hitter for Kellen Moore through 4 innings. Got to give him his flowers for that. Mignogna comes in. It's a 2-0 count. Anthony Pallone is up at the plate. He's a 162 hitter. He's 0 for 1 today. This is his 15th game in the red and white. 2-0, it's a hard chopper over to Bound. Bound makes the tag. Saker advances to second. And 2 outs are on the board.
Number 2, center fielder James.
Brings up James Schaefer, an above 300 hitter. One of the best on the team, just right behind Joe Mitter. Schaefer is 0 for 2 on the day. Looking to get on base for the first time here. It's a nice pitch to start things off there by Mignogna, who really wants to get out of this inning, especially with how the Mammoths have been pitching. He knows that runs are hard to come by right now for the Generals' order. They're already trailing by 1. Don't want to tack on any more. Don't know if they can afford to tack on any more as well. Here in the bottom of the 5th. 1-1 count. Swung on right over to Arcuri. Arcuri can't make the play. That's going to be an error on him. Almost brings home Saker. He gets the hold call. And it's runners on the corners now for the Mammoths. What could have been
Number 7,
the end to the inning.
Jordan Nitty.
Instead continues it. Out comes Coryell to talk to his pitcher. Mignogna over 20 pitches here in his first inning of play. Coryell out there talking with his pitcher. We'll take a short break as he does so. And we'll be right back. Mammoths lead 1-0. And we told you it'd be a quick break. Right back here with you with Mignogna on the mound and Nitty up at the plate now. Schaefer left to steal second. It won't matter as this one flies out into left field. Albacher gets under it and makes the catch for out number 3. But not before the Mammoths tack on the first counted run here in this one for the 1-0 lead heading in to the top of the 6th. They get a hit finally. They get a run finally. And the narrative of this game is starting to change. Generals back up at the plate. They got 4 hits. Still have not gotten any of those runners to come home, though. It could all change in the 6th inning. Don't go anywhere. Watch it all go down with us right here. Ben Chadwick bringing it through this Wednesday night of ECCBL baseball.
fielder, number 12, Brody McKenzie.
Back here, leading off the 6th inning is also your leadoff hitter, Brody McKenzie, out there for the Generals, who seems as though after every foul ball, McKenzie loves to do that little energetic hop. Seems like once he feels contact on the bat, he thinks it's going to go out there. He was a little disappointed. 1-1 count after that ball. Foley still out there for the Mammoths. This is his 6th inning. He's allowed 4 hits and 2 walks. He struck out 3 batters. Only 64 pitches, including the first few here.
In fact, it's actually getting lighter.
3-1 count now here for McKenzie. That one's outside. He'll take the base. First time on base today as well. He was 0 for 2 coming into that at bat. 0 for 2 remains. But at least that on base percentage will take a little boost. And here's a man we are seeing for the first time today.
Bench hitting for the Generals, number 3, Tim Wright.
He has played in the most games for the Generals this summer. Timmy Wright, his 17th game with them, is right here. Grounds over to Burkaw. The double play cannot be made. There will be 1 out. Burkaw's throw over to Nitty. Made him come off base a little bit. Kept 1 foot on the base. So now there's 1 out there. McKenzie,
Number 5,
or rather Wright,
Eilbacher.
over there on first. And Albacher is now up at the plate. Not Lance. It's his brother Logan. This is just his 4th game with the Generals. He's 1 for 8 in those games. He's walked 3 times, struck out twice. And everyone on this Generals coaching staff is well aware of what he's capable of, just waiting for it to click here this summer. It's Foley. His 70th pitch coming right here. That one looked good, but it broke a little too low, so a 2-0 count here for Albacher, who won the Landmark Conference Rookie of the Year in his freshman season at Catholic University. Was also an All-Landmark Conference honorable mention as a freshman. He had a .356 average in his freshman season. 48 hits, 18 of them doubles, 1 of them was a triple, and 8 of them were homers. Swinging for the fences right there, and it's a 2-1 count. Tacked on 35 RBIs, 14 walks, and 5 stolen bases. Logan Albacher looking at a 2-1 count. That one is going to go out to center field. Schaefer's chasing it down, and he makes the catch. Sprinting out, towards the fences. James Schaefer. Right in the breadbasket, if you will. And Timmy Wright never tagged second. Never retouched second, rather, that is. And he is out for the 3rd here in the top of the 6th. What a catch from Schaefer. Out in center field. On what should have likely been a double, and an RBI double at that. It also could have very possibly been to tie up this game, but instead, the Mammoths hold on to their 1-0 lead heading into the bottom of the 6th. Some position changes out there. Tim Wright is now in left field with Allbacher and Wright. And a quick start here. As Justin Fogel is going to ground out for out number 1 here in the bottom of the 6th.
Number 52, first baseman Joe Gemitter.
Sun's starting to go down here. So we are now 5.5 through this game. Here's Joe Gemitter. I mentioned was an over 350 hitter for Mercer County College this past spring. The first baseman is looking at a 2-0 count. And the 3-0 count now. Gemitter was above a 350 hitter for Mercer. He's a near 330 hitter so far this summer for the Mammoths. He won't get a chance to hit there as it's a 4-pitch walk. Doesn't seem too happy about it, too. Didn't even get a chance to swing that bat.
Number 12, shortstop.
So Gemitter, a guy who has played in every single game so far this summer for the Mammoths, alongside Amir Cornier, who now takes the base. And an 0-1 count here for him. There's one out on the board after that ground out to start things off. Looks as though C.J. Adata is going to start warming up in the bullpen for the Generals here. And will likely be the next pitcher to come in. It's a 1-2 count right now. Mercer has a pitcher warming up in their bullpen right now in right field. Unfortunately, I don't have the greatest viewpoint to see who that is, but I'm sure we will see him very soon. Unless Foley is able to go the distance. It's a 1-2 count here for Cornier with Gemitter on first. Almost gets away from Mezgel. And he quickly shuffles over to the ball. Make sure Gemitter stays put on first. 2-2 count now. It is a hot and sunny day here at Moody Park. Cornier over to Kelly. Kelly looking for the double play. Arcuri unable to turn around in time, so instead the fielder's choice. Getting Gemitter out at second. Cornier will take base over at first. Won't be credited with the hit, but he will get on there.
Third baseman Will Burkholm.
Brings on Will Burkholm. I mentioned in the small sample size he had in his freshman season was really a force over at Gettysburg College. A reminder, this is his first game with the Mammoths. He's 0 for 1 with a walk. Looking at a 1-1 count here. Cornier over on first. The pickoff attempt by Mignona is unsuccessful. One count remains. Off goes Cornier. Throw from Mezgel. Almost gets there in time. It won't be exactly in time. Took a bounce and still had that much speed under it. That was a strike call as well. So the 1-2 with Cornier now in scoring position over there on second base. Burkholm, his first game in the red and white, looking for his first hit in the red and white right here. That fastball is going to be a little too low. So here's the 2-2 for 22 and 2 outs on the board. A little bit of wind here in Ewing. That one's a high chopper over to Arcuri. Oh, was unable to get behind it. And home comes Cornier. And the throw gets past Mezgel, advancing. Burkall over to second. A whole lot going on there. At least one error on the Generals' defense. Instead, it'll be an RBI single. It was a tough bouncer for Arcuri to get behind. Boy, did he pay the price. Will Burkall with the RBI single and advanced over to second on the throw to home to try and get Cornier out. So now a 2-0 lead here for the Mammoths. 2 outs still on the board. And all this might not matter. The Generals are unable to get a single run on the board before this game is over. Trenton has been shut out twice this year. Once on June 11th against the Capitals. And again, just a few days ago on Saturday, where they lost 10-0 to Quakertown. The 0-2 count turns into a 1-2 here for Dylan Briggs, who's looking to get on base for the first time here today. He's 0 for 2. He's got Burkall over there on second. Off goes Burkall over to third. Mezgel had to reach over for the pitch from Mignona. So Burkall, no threat to him. And he is looking to come home to increase this lead here in the bottom of the 6th. Mignona's pitch is in there for strike 3. The Mammoths will increase their lead by 1, now taking a 2-0 lead heading into the 7th. And this 7th inning is brought to you by DFG Financial Group. DFG Financial Group is a private wealth advisory practice of Ameriprise Financial Services, LLC, located in Hamilton, New Jersey. DFG Financial Group is equipped to handle all of your personal and business financial planning and services that you might need. Once again, that is DFG Financial Group bringing you the 7th inning that we'll be right back to in a few moments. We welcome you back to Ewing, New Jersey here at Moody Park. Mercer Mammoths hosting the Trenton Generals, and they lead 2-0. Top of the 7th. First run of the game was scored in the 5th. And the second run scored in the 6th. In the game for the first time today, pinch hitting is going to be Jackson Wargo, a 275 hitter on the year through the 14 games he's played in for Trenton. Looking at a 2-1 count. He's got 8 walks compared to just 3 strikeouts, as well as stealing 4 bases. He's looking at a 2-2 count now. Luke Foley still out there. Just about 75 pitches through. And he has looked good, so they are keeping him. Wargo out to right field on his first at-bat. Pallone making the routine catch for out number 1 here in the top of the 7th. Now, we always wonder what the situation for these pitchers might be, especially when they're having a great game. Is if there's a pitch count or if they're just going till their arm starts to get away from them. So now here's Robert Kelly. Headed to Monmouth University for his freshman season. Facing down an 0-1 count, make that a 1-1. Kelly, a 250 hitter on the year. He's 0 for 1 today with a walk. That one's grounded right up the middle. And Kelly will get his first hit on the day. Got right past Foley, and Cornier dove out to make the grab. We've seen all of the high-effort plays that he's been trying to make. Couldn't make that one right there, so now with 1 out, Robert Kelly's on first, and Jake DeClerico is up at the plate, the designated hitter. He's in a 5'9", 175 pounds, heading into his 5th year at Rutgers. Big hack there to start him off for the 0-1 count. He's an above 300 hitter. He's looked solid so far today. Got the first hit of the game back in the 3rd inning. He's also struck out once. And here is his 3rd at-bat. Looking at a 1-1 count is DeClerico. Kelly is over there waiting on first after he got a hit. The 5th of the day for the Generals, 7th of this entire game. Once again, the defense and pitching has been incredible. Only 1 error combined. And it was on the Generals. That one's in there. 2-2 count here for DeClerico. The designated hitter from Cranford, New Jersey. Facing 1 out. Oh, that fastball was close, but just a bit outside, so a full count here now. Now you see the zoom in. This full count pitch. Pickoff attempt was a very lofty and slow one by Foley over to Gamitter trying to get Kelly. So here's the full count pitch. Skied by DeClerico, and it gets down. Kelly was thinking about rounding. He rounded a bit too far, but was able to make it back before Cornier could get him out over there on second. So DeClerico gets the hit. Schaefer was sliding in, trying to make the catch, was unable to.
Second baseman, Giuseppe Arcuri.
And now it's 2 hits in just this inning alone for the Generals. Giuseppe Arcuri is up at the plate. He's already had a hit on the day earlier. Looking for that once again right here. Trying to find the gap. He is unable to. Burkaw struggling with the ball. It was Kelly tripping over him. And Kelly will remain safe over there on third, it seems. He's standing on third base. As we witness this, Coryell is arguing for him to be safe on third. Trying to argue that Burkhaw never really was in control of the ball. Also didn't tag him. It was Kelly tripping over his back while he was on his hands and knees fighting to keep the ball. Kelly is still over there on third. So there's going to be an error on Burkhaw with the bases loaded and 2 outs on the board. Or rather, 1 out. My apologies.
I gotta fix it. Can I edit the outs? Edit out? No, it doesn't let me do that. Yeah, it goes to 0. Oh, cool. Wow. Learn one new thing every day.
Mezgel going to fly that one out. Pallone is chasing it down. Instead, it'll be Nitty coming all the way over and making the catch. All the runners will stay put. And there is your second out here, now in the 7th inning. And it's holding on to those 2 runs. Just got charged with the error, their first of the day. Now just 2 combined errors here through almost 6.5 innings. Lance Albacher. He is 1 for 2. Stole a base earlier. Staring down a 1-0 count. Foley, his 90th pitch. He's going to be catching Albacher's swing. So the 1-1 here with 2 outs and the bases loaded. Generals trailing by 2. This is a prime opportunity to try and at least tie the game up or just put their first run on the board. Here's the 1-1. Goes right over to Committer. Committer, can he make it over to first in time? He can. And the shutout continues here for the Mammoths on the Generals. Still unable to get anyone home despite loading up the bases with 1 out. 3 are left stranded. And the Mammoths hold on to their 2-0 lead heading in to the bottom of the 7th inning stretch. Coming up for you right here. And it is brought to you by Wildflowers Inn Restaurant. I always mention towards the ends of these games, especially these weekday games, how just absolutely starving I get. It's the same story here tonight, folks. And Wildflowers Inn Restaurant is here to satisfy mine and your hunger needs. They are located right on the Circle in Pennington, New Jersey, and they are one of the best casual dining experiences offered in town. They got a wide variety of food, folks, and some of the best pizza you will ever taste. So stop by right after the game tonight, or if you're that hungry, head over there with your phone in hand, keep streaming us on YouTube. Set it up on the napkin holder, on your drink perhaps, and have the best of both worlds. Wildflowers Inn Restaurant, 609-737-2392. Wildflowers Inn Restaurant. 7th inning stretch. We'll be right back, folks. Mammoths here in the bottom of the 7th looking for some insurance runs late in this one. They lead 2-0. Jack Saker is up at the plate, starting his count off with a 0-1. Saker is heading off to St. Joe's University for his freshman season with them. Looking at an 0-2 count after swinging at that one. And swinging at the third as well. So Mignogna starting this one off with a swinging strikeout.
Number 29, right fielder, and
Not a bad way to start. He's allowed 1 run in each of the past 2 innings. Looking to stop that pattern here in the 7th. Facing off against Anthony Pallone, setting at 5'10", heading off to his sophomore season at Rowan University. Starts off with an 0-1 count, grounds this one right over to Arcuri, who makes the throw to first for out number 2 here in the bottom of the 7th. As I mentioned before, and I've been talking about all game long, both defenses have been really solid. Just 1 error in total for each side. That's 2 combined. As that ground out brings on James Schaefer. Back at the top of the order here for possibly the last time for the Mercer Mammoths. The 0-1 count turned into a 1-1. Mignogna looks like he's really honed in for this bottom of the 7th inning. It's just a matter of if the batting order can do the same. 2-1 count here for Schaefer. Headed off to his freshman season at Stony Brook. From Yardley, Pennsylvania, grounds this one right over to Kelly. And Kelly makes the throw over to first for out number 3. 3 up, 3 down for Ryan Mignogna and company. And after 7, the score remains 2-0. Mammoths over the Generals. Generals have 6 more outs to work with. We'll see what they could do with them. Starting in the top of the 8th. We'll see you there. Back here, top of the 8th. Generals up at the plate, still trailing 2-0. Looking to get their first run on the day. Mike Nasty is now up on the mound. McKenzie's going to fly this one out into left field. The catch is made for out number 1. Mike Nasty has pitched in 6 games so far this summer. Started only 1 of them. And through 12 innings, he's allowed 17 hits and 13 earned runs. Struck out 5 batters compared to the 10 he's walked. All comes out to a 9.75 ERA. He's now going up against Wright, who lines that one out. It's going to be fouled off of the right field. Nasty just wrapped up his freshman season at Rowan and is now in the transfer portal. So Timmy Wright, who came into the game, placing Ryan Hosdovic. He's 0 for 1. This is his second at-bat. Looking at a 1-2 count. Generals have 5 outs to work with to make up the 2-run deficit that they currently face here in the bottom, or the top rather, of the 8th. The lights are on at Moody Park. And Wright will get his first hit of the day, finding the gap out into right field. It'll bring on Logan Albacher.
Number 5, first baseman Logan Eilbacher.
We always talk about the potential he has in this Generals uniform, seemingly because we all know what he is capable of. And if it's any moment for him to break out for the Gens, it's going to be right here. Right on first. 1 out here for Logan. A big hack there. Nasty caught him swinging. So here's the 0-1. Albacher's moving into his sophomore season at Catholic University. That pitch is going to get away from Saker and is going to allow Wright to advance to second. So it's going to be a 1-1 count. Just on your screen, there's Timmy Wright. They're on second, and here's the matchup we're looking at right here. Oh boy, the contact just gets you excited every time you see it off of Albacher's bat. But that one's going to be fouled off to the left for a 1-2 count now. That pitch coming right by his face, almost cut in enough, but it's still going to be a ball. So the 2-2 count here. There's 1 out on the board. He's got Wright on second. Albacher is 1 for 9 on the season. Another pitch getting away. Off goes Wright. Is he safe? He will be called safe. After the wild pitch, Saker chased it down. Made the throw over to Burkall. And it was a close one. But regardless, Wright is now all the way over on third, based on his own accord. And Albacher will walk in his second plate appearance, his first time on base here today. So runners on the corners.
Number 8,
Here for Jackson Wargo.
third baseman Jackson Wargo.
Wargo is 0 for 1. He's a .275 hitter coming into this game. He's walked 8 times and struck out 3. Did not play in his freshman season at Longwood University. And that pitch from Nasty almost getting away once again. He's throwing hard. And some of these he's been losing control on. Fouled off by Wargo. And boy, those fastballs do come in hot. Mike Nasty, as I mentioned, in the portal. at the moment right now. Wearing number 9 out in there in the white and red pinstripes. Strike called there for the 1-2 count. There's runners on the corners. Dangerous situation for the Mammoths and a hopeful one for the Generals. That pitch, just a bit outside. Umpire didn't like it. So here's the 2-2. Runners on the corners. It's Eilbacher on first with Timmy Wright on third. That one once again gets away. Saker going to have to chase it down. Home comes Wright for the first run of the game for the Generals. And Eilbacher advances to second. And just like that, it's back to a one-run ball game here in the top of the 8th. There is a man warming up out there for the Mammoths. It's Ryan Conover out in right field. Walker going to swing this one on over to Gmitter. Makes a solid play. Gets his body behind the ball. Is able to pick it up for out number 2. The Mammoths lead is now just 1.
Number 7, shortstop.
Eilbacher is over there on third, advancing on that hit. Or that ground out is how I should say it. And that brings on Robert Kelly. Kelly, who's 0 for 1 with a couple walks, pops this one up. Chased down by Schaefer, but it's going to be Nitty making the catch, the second baseman for out number 3 here in the top of the 8th. Generals were able to chop at the lead a little bit. Mammoth still hold it 2-1 heading into the bottom of the 8th. Don't go anywhere. It's another one that looks to be a great ending here at Moody Park, similar to yesterday. So don't go anywhere, and we'll see you in the bottom of the 8th. Bottom of the 8th action here for you at Moody Park, where the Mercer Mammoths trail, or rather lead, the Trenton Generals 2-1. Could be their last time up at the plate today. And they're kind of hoping for that. Jordan Nitty, who is 0 for 3 so far on this one, still looking to get on base for the first time. He's facing a 1-1 count. And it's CJ Adada, the new pitcher out there for the Generals. Adada, this is his 4th game. This one's going to be popped up by Nitty. And the catch will be made by Lance Albacher out there in right field. Adada, this is the first game he has not started this year. He's the 3 prior to this. He started all 3. Pitched 9 innings, was accredited with 1 win. He allowed 9 hits in those 9 innings, along with 7 earned runs, 6 walks, and 9 strikeouts. All comes out to a 5.44 ERA, very similar to the earned run average that he saw in his freshman season at Montclair State University, which was a 5.49 through the 19.2 innings pitched he had there to start off his collegiate career. Now facing off against Justin Fogel. As we mentioned before, the transfer from Pitt headed over to Memphis for this coming spring. He's looking at a 2-0 count. Still very light out here in Ewing, New Jersey. Nearing the 2-hour mark of this game. That one is flown out by Fogel. Neither player can make the catch. Not McKenzie or Kelly. Little blooper fly ball is going to get down before either of them can make it there, and they both dove for it.
Number 52, first baseman Joe Giminer.
So Fogel's first time on base today. It's his first hit of the day as well. Brings on Joe Giminer. Power hitter from Mercer County College. Gets that one right past Logan Albacher. It's out into right field. Fogel is rounding second, headed to third. And it's runners on the corners with 1 out here for the Mercer Mammoths. What a smash there by Giminer. Boy, that one flew right past Eilbacher, even though it hit the ground before even reaching first base. It's a big guy with a big swing right there. That's all you can really say about it. Brings on Amir Cornier. Has played in all 19 games that the Mammoths as a team have played in so far this summer. Leads the team in RBIs. Has a .258 average. With a couple doubles, a triple, and a homer. Starts off with an 0-1, make that a 1-1. That one's way outside there for Adada. Cornier heading into his fifth year at Young Harris College. As I mentioned, did not play this past spring. In his senior year, instead his junior season was the last time he played college baseball for him. He's staring down a 1-2 count. There's 1 out on the board. Giminer's on first. Fogel is on third. That one is in there. Big pitch for Adada to get the second out here in the bottom of the 8th.
Number 22, third baseman Will Burkhoff.
1 more to go as they try to hold this lead to just 1. And they will soon be working with 3 outs in the top of the 9th. Giminer taking a bit of a lead off, so Adada's going to check him over there on first. That brings on Will Burkhoff. Burkhoff's 1 for 2 with a walk. He has struck out 1 time as well today. Starts off with a 1-0 count. His first game here for the Mammoths. It's a chopper over to first base. And the play is made by Albacher, who has a little foot race with Burkaw, and he beats him to it. Leaving a couple stranded on the corners is the Generals. The lead remains 2-1, and Trenton has 3 outs to work with. Try and tie this one up, or possibly take the lead in the 9th. Don't go anywhere. It's going to be a photo finish here at Moody Park. Three outs here in the top of the 9th. Trailing by 1 run are the Trenton Generals. Ryan Conover is the new pitcher on the mound here for the Mammoths. Pitched over 35 innings for Mercer County this past spring. Had a 3.79 ERA. Struck out 22 batters. And he's going to hit DeClerico here to start off the 9th.
Number 15, second baseman Giuseppe Arcuri.
Conover so far this summer has pitched 14 innings, credited with 2 wins and 1 loss. He allowed 10 hits in those 14 innings and just 2 earned runs, as well as striking out 11 batters. All comes out to a 1.26 ERA. Bunt attempt from Arcuri is fouled off. And instead, DeClerico's going all the way to third. It is not called a foul ball. Instead, it's going to be a passed ball on Saker, which allows DeClerico to go from first all the way to third. And just like that, the tying run is over on third. And a balk is called on Conover. Won't be a balk. The umpire is having some strong words with some of the Mammoths coaching staff over there. A lot going on. And just the first couple of pitches here in the top of the 9th. Mammoths head coach is going to go over there, talk to the home plate umpire, and now talk to the infield umpire. They hold a 2-1 lead, and if just 1 or 2 things go right, that lead could vanish. Now it's DeClerico on third. Arcuri is up at the plate. He's 1 for 3. He's got DeClerico on third. DeClerico is going to stay on third despite the Mammoths coaching staff's pleads. But it was called a pass ball. So here is Conover's 4th pitch. There's already a man on third. He's looking at a 1-0 count here on Arcuri. One solid swing of the bat is all they need to tie this game up. With no outs. Trenton looks to have a very, very solid shot at it. And every single Mercer coach was just thrown out of the game. There is not a single red polo, red quarter zip hoodie. Instead, it's all pinstripe uniforms over there for the Mammoths. Arcuri, hard swing of the bat there. He's looking at a 2-1 count now. Whole lot going on the top of the 9th, and we haven't even seen a run come home yet. Here is the 2-1 pitch. Arcuri fouls it off to make it a 2-2. We're going to say this quietly because we have the Mercer head coach up here arguing and just having a hard conversation with the commissioner of the league, Mike Olshan, who is over to my right at the other side of the press box. Here's the 2-2 pitch, swung on and missed by Arcuri. There's the first out, and there's the dugout cheering him on, making sure they're trying to replace those coaches that were thrown out earlier. Brings on Braden Mezgel. That ball could have been an RBI single to tie this one up. Instead, it's fouled off just past the left field line for an 0-1. And Mezgel seems to just be friends with every single guy out there. Getting a little playful push from Conover after nearly tying this one up. Mezgel, another man who's 1 for 3, similar to Arcuri. Hoping to not have his at-bat end the same way Giuseppe did. Here's the 1-1. There's an out on the board. DeClerico is over there on third. After the insanity that started off this 9th inning. The 1-1 is swung on. It's gone by Barcaw, and Barcaw's throw over to Committer gets past him, and there is the tying run. DeClerico comes home. Game is tied up at 2. Here in the top of the 9th.
Number 27, right fielder Lance Eilbacher.
So the error on Barcaw advances Mezgel all the way around to second. So tying the game is not going to be the only goal for the Generals, obviously, in the situation that they're presented with right now. Now up the plate, Lance Eilbacher. He's going to swing that one on. It's going to get out into the right field, that ground ball. Mezgel is going to get the hold call over there on third. Runners on the corners with 1 out.
Number 12.
And after the Generals didn't hold the lead at all for this entire game, the game is tied up. And they're looking to take their first lead here in the top of the 9th as they got runners on the corners with 1 out. And the top of the order up, Brody McKenzie. A .333 hitter. He's 0 for 3 today. Lance Eilbacher going to practically take his base at second. Because Saker knows if he throws that ball, Mezgel is racing home. Here's the 1-0 to McKenzie. Conover just reaching double-digit pitches here. But boy, have they been fun. This is a pop fly. Schaefer makes the catch. Off goes Mezgel for the leading run. And he will be caught out. Instead, he's safe. The tag is not in. And Braden Mezgel gets the third run in. The Generals have taken the lead in the ninth. My goodness, what a sequence this has been.
Number 3, left fielder, Tim Wright.
Braden Mezgel is safe at home. Lance Eilbacher advances to third. And a sentence I never thought I'd be saying in the top of the ninth. The Generals are looking for some insurance runs here. Timmy Wright up at the plate. He was a middle of the game substitute. He's 1 for 2. He's a .250 hitter on the year. On the summer is how I really should be saying it. First pitch is a bit outside. There's 2 outs now on the board after that sac fly from McKenzie. Right. It's a weak grounder over to Committer. Committer, can Conover get there in time? He can. And Timmy Wright is furious about it. And boy, it seems as though it's with good reason. Wright arguing with the infield umpire, who is standing his ground. And what an eventful top of the ninth. Words being exchanged by both sides. But it's not over yet. Wednesday night ECCBL baseball, folks. How about it? Generals lead 3-2. Bottom of the ninth coming up for you. We'll be right back. The Generals had 3 outs to work with. We saw what they did with it. Can the Mammoths do the same? This was a 2-1 ball game heading into the top of the ninth. In the bottom, it's 3-2 in the Generals' favor. Their first lead of the game. And how will they handle it? With Adada on the mound. Dylan Briggs up at the plate. looking to get on base for the first time today. He's 0 for 3. That one coming real close to him to give him a 2-1 count. That was Dada's 15th pitch. This is his second inning of work. And that'll be fouled off, so a full count here. And there was an incredible play by Braden Mesgill on the base running to get that third run in. Dodging the tag from Saker and then leaping to get that hand on home plate for that third run. And starting off the bottom of the ninth is CJ Adada with the looking strikeout. There's one. 2 more to go here for the Gens. The Mammoths scored a run in consecutive innings in the 5th and 6th. Looking to do at least that here. Jack Saker. He's 1 for 3 today. And that 1 for 3 is also his second hit on the season. 2 for 26 now. And he's looking at a 1-2 count with 1 out on the board. CJ Adada trying to end off this insane 9th inning in the most cold-blooded way possible. Here's the 1-2 to Saker. Oh boy, was it close. Adada thought so as well. Instead, it'll make it 2-2. Jack Saker headed off to St. Joe's University for his freshman season. From Millstone, New Jersey, standing at 6'1", 195. Swinging a miss there for out number 2 and the second strikeout in a row. CJ Adada is taking souls here in the 9th inning. And a pinch hitter. His first time up at the plate today is Casey Gardner. A 158 hitter. Flies this one out into left field. Timmy Wright making the catch. And the Trenton Generals have won the ball game. What an unbelievable ending to what was a extremely tight game all the way through. The game was tied all the way until the 5th inning, where the Mammoths finally got the first run. They added on another in the 6th. They held on to that 2-0 lead for a while until the top of the 8th, when the Generals made it 2-1. And the top of the 9th, they made it 3-2. And boy, it is going to be a heavily talked about and debated 3-2. Every single coach was thrown out of the game for the Mammoths. There were players arguing with umpires all over the place. But at the end of the day, it's 1 to go in the win column for the Generals. Their second straight. They improved to 8-10-1 and are now the clear 3rd in the Southern Division. And stand as the 6th best team in the ECCBL record-wise. Meanwhile, for the Mammoths, they are no longer tied for first in the South after they fall to 9-10. And they are now 4th in the ECCBL. So it's the Generals taking this one 3-2. And your player of the game will go to Kellen Moore, and extremely deservingly so. For anyone that believes player of the games should go to a player on the winning team, well, it should have gone to Moore all game long, and the Generals pulled out the win, so there's no debate about it. Kellen Moore, through 4 innings, had a no-hitter, walked only 2 runners, and had 5 strikeouts. He is your Toyota player of the game here on this Wednesday night at Moody Park. The Generals win 3-2. This has been Ben Chadwick. Thank you so much for listening.